I spent today walking around the city where I teach. I had an hour in the afternoon, and I figured I'd just go around and take pictures of flowers, because they're all abloom all over the place. And you know, the more I look at flowers, the more sad I feel, because they don't make me happy, because I realize that their very purpose, I mean, the flower has evolved over, you know, tens of millions of years. Tens of millions of years have evolved to attract pollinators. That's it. They didn't evolve for us in the last 100,000 years, okay? Modern man has only been around 100,000 years. Homo sapien. They evolved for the very pollinators that we are systematically eradicating. And that makes me terribly, terribly sad. And it's not just the bees, it's the birds, it's bats, it's butterflies, it's all of the pollinators we are exterminating. And about 40, you know, I guess the walk is about 40 minutes. I had an hour and a half, and I think I spent about 40 minutes walking, taking pictures. I saw less than 10 solitary bees. Less than 10, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 5. I saw one carpenter bee. That's a big black one with the big mane around its neck. And I saw, I believe, maybe a male bumblebee. Or was that earlier? You know what? That was earlier. I didn't even see a bumblebee. I can't remember. You know, maybe. You're like, oh, I can't remember. I think I did see a male bumblebee, because I try to catch it. It's just sad to think that what we have done as a species, as one species, we are, you know, it's not environmental changes. It's not that, you know, a meteor hit, or, you know, I guess we're like the cyanobacteria, right? The cyanobacteria, you know, we breathe oxygen, which is the excrement of a bacteria. You know, we breathe in oxygen is actually was a byproduct of a bacteria, right? That ultimately terraformed Earth and created this poisonous gas called oxygen that we all then adapted to. And, you know, so it's just really, really sad to think what we're doing. And the simple fact is no one really cares. The billionaires out there, the politicians out there, they don't care. And, you know, all they care about is widgets. It's widgets. How much, you know, how much widgets can I buy? Right? How many widgets? The person with the most widget wins mentality, right? And the true value of life, the true importance of life, is all about being able to enjoy this wonder that we exist on, that ultimately we're destroying. It's unbelievable. And I was, you know, I have to admit, a year ago, I was in this widget, well, in a way, I was trying to, you know, develop a paradigm to help people launch and create more widgets. And called the Open Startup. you know, and basically I've pivoted from that to focusing on bees because of a simple little documentary that I watched. It was like Vanishing of the Bees. I thought it was like a movie, you know. I was like, what is that? You know, Vanishing of the Bees. I didn't even know about it last year. So, and I had some good news. Some guy that, you know, has been reading my posts and says, wow, you know, I'm actually thinking about, you know, collecting bees because, you know, your posts, and I'm noticing that you're right. There are no bees around. No, there aren't any bees. And if you live in a place like Japan, and it's really aggravating because there is this, you know, all this volunteer. I got a, you know, the volunteer network to help with the tsunami. Basically, I got reprimanded by one of the admins that your posts are not on target. You know, we've deleted some of your posts. I'm like, and it's such an ignorant thing to say because people post the most ridiculous thing on there, and I'm trying to bring and drive attention to the bee crisis, and all people care about is they care about the little turf. And here's a whole bunch of volunteers. I'm like, gosh, if we could get these volunteers, if we get these schools, if we get these folks behind this cause, you know, maybe we can make a difference. Because, you know, I didn't even know about systemic pesticides. Really, I mean, 3 months ago, I was ignorant on systemic pesticides. I didn't realize that they're in the apple, in the wheat, in the cereal, in the coffee, in the tea. You can't, you know, you're getting quantities of this toxin, this neurotoxin, that has a half-life of 15 years in your body. You know, and how's it affected my sons? And how is it affecting other children? Because you know what? The fetus starts off smaller than a bee's egg. Anyway, that's my thought today. It's May 22nd. Thinking about the bees as I walked around and just took snapshot after snapshot. And none of my pictures, by the way, caught any bees. I mean, when I took those pictures, I didn't see any. I only saw bees earlier when I was looking in one, you know, in one garden. Saw a few bees, but when I took those pictures, walking around, I don't think I saw any solitary. And I saw no social bees. There are no social bees in Japan. Social bees are the honeybees. There are no social bees.